Hi, I'm Jeremy Cato. Welcome to CatoCarGuide.com. What you're looking at here is the KIa Niro EV. It's been on the market for a couple of years now. And the question, of course, is, should you buy it? I'll give you a verdict, but before I do, let me talk about range, because range is the most important issue for most buyers of battery electric vehicles. The KIa Niro EV is certified to 385 kilometers between charges. That's the Natural Resources Canada certification. But in my real-world testing, I was getting more like 450 kilometers. Now, what accounts for the difference? It's all about real-world driving and how you actually use the car. Which of the three drive modes you dial up here? Because this vehicle has Eco mode, normal mode, or sporty mode, and sporty mode is like, well, turns it into something like a little rocket ship. And of course, what's the weather? How many hills are you driving? And do you run the air conditioning at full blast? Is it a hot day? Or the heater at full blast on a cold day? All these things factor in to your driving range. I found that in everyday driving in my suburban life, 450K, that was the standard. Now that's impressive. I most definitely can live with 450 kilometers of range in an EV. Still, if you have one of these rigs, you do need to think a little bit about charging, because charging outlets are not as abundant as gasoline stations, at least not yet. I don't have a charging outlet in my own home, therefore I need to plan where I'm going to get my vehicle charged. Mostly I look for the level 3 fast chargers, which with this rig, if you've got one of the best level 3s, which is the 100 kilowatts, well, you can charge it up to about 80% from about 0 in less than an hour. If it's a less robust level 3, you might spend up to an hour and 15 minutes. So you do need to think about the charging equation here. By the way, if you have a household 220, 240 outlet, you're looking at 8 to 9 hours to charge this up. And for lots of suburban dwellers who install one of these 220, 240 outlets in their garage, well, it just means you drive your daily routine, you go to work, you go shopping, you go to the gym, take the kids to soccer or the golf course or wherever, and then you come home and at night, you plug it in. If you've been following the EV universe, you'll know that things are exploding and more models are coming to the marketplace with every month. Now, this KIa Niro EV arrived about 2 years ago, and I'll tell you what, it still stands up very, very well. It has sports car acceleration, the refinement of a near luxury sedan, and the cargo space of a panel truck. Now, I understand that EVs still are only around 2% of all light vehicle sales, but that number is growing. By the way, the pricing here, $45,000 to $55,000, depending on which version of the Niro EV you pick. Of course, when it comes to electric vehicles, battery electric vehicles, the world is full of subsidies and taxpayer refunds and rebates, taxpayer-funded refunds and rebates. And here in British Columbia, this is no exception. The provincial government here offers a $3,000 rebate on an EV, a full battery electric vehicle like this Niro. The federal government offers another $5,000 for Canadians. And then on top of that, back here in British Columbia, if you have an old clunker that qualifies for the province's Scrap It program, designed to get old wrecks and polluting vehicles off the road, that's another $6,000. So in total, you could be looking at $14,000 in taxpayer-funded rebates on an EV such as the KIa Niro here. Now, what does that do? Well, it takes that $45,000 starter price down into the low 30s, and that makes it pretty affordable. Keep in mind that this Niro EV is, even the most basic model, very well equipped with automatic cruise control, air conditioning, a whole bunch of electronic features, safety nannies, lane keep assist, a terrific sound system, Bluetooth connectivity, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. I mean, this is a well-equipped rig at even the lowest price. So if you just want your city runabout with somewhere between 385 and 450 kilometers of range, you're looking at the low 30s. And the KIa Niro EV is not some pokey little grocery getter. We're talking about an electric vehicle, a battery car, with the acceleration of a Porsche Boxster and the energy efficiency of a Porsche Taycan. That's the fancy new electric Porsche. And all in all, Efficiency, you're looking at probably somewhere between $200 and $400 a year to pay for your electric charge. If you had the gasoline version of this, the 4-cylinder gas version of the KIa Niro, you're looking at 2 to 3 times that amount, so upwards of around $1,000 a year. Over time, this will pay at least partially for itself. Here's something else to think about with the Niro EV. This is a proven model. It's been for sale for 2 years. There is real-world data by real-world drivers reporting on their owner experience. So what do we know? Well, we know that in terms of the electric vehicle satisfaction study from J.D. Power, the KIa Niro EV is ranked #1 amongst all mainstream EVs. That's pretty good. Now, of course, there are higher ranked EVs, and I'll bet you know what they are. They come from Tesla. The Model S is #1 overall, and the Model 3 is #2. But overall, against all electric vehicles in the marketplace, the Niro EV is ranked #3. But again, it is #1 amongst the more affordable models. True, the Tesla brand is a much sexier brand than the Kia brand, but is it worth $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 more for a vehicle that does about the same thing? If you're shopping for a mainstream electric vehicle, you have a lot of choices now, and the list is growing. Volkswagen, for example, has the new ID.4, which is priced about the same, has about the same packaging and performance, but has been dogged with some early launch issues. Chevrolet has the Bolt, which again, like the Niro, has been around for a couple of years, has a posted range of about 417 kilometers, but smaller inside, even though it's less expensive, and the materials in the cabin feel harder and cheaper and not as refined. Nissan has the venerable Leaf, but I have to say that while it's a good value, the Leaf, well, what you see now has been riding basically on the same platform for a decade. Kia sells the Soul EV, which is similar to this, a little taller, bigger, wider, higher hip point. And then over at Hyundai, with the sister brand of Kia, well, you've got the Kona EV, which is smaller and, in my mind, not quite the equal of this one. In my mind, and I think you know where I'm going here, the KIa Niro offers, the EV version offers a tremendous value in the current electric vehicle marketplace. It's well made, it feels refined inside and out, it's quiet to drive, it's fun to drive, and the pricing is reasonable. This KIa Niro EV that I'm driving today, well, this is the fanciest SX Touring model, and wow, is it ever loaded. That may not matter to a lot of people because they're going to look at the design and say, well, that's pretty boxy, that's kind of grandfatherly, and maybe you like it because you got a lot of gray hair. And I do have a lot of gray hair, but I like it because I like the packaging and I like the value here. That boxy design, while not exactly exciting, offers one huge bonus, a big interior. I can sit comfortably with a hat on inside here, and it's roomy enough inside for 4 adults and lots of cargo space. So all in all, while the exterior design is not terribly exciting, it makes for very, very useful packaging. Functional car here, folks. And the fact of the matter is the interior materials, wow, they look and feel luxurious. There are lots of soft touch surfaces. The leather upholstery has this cool white piping. Those front seats, the buckets, are heated and ventilated, so they warm you up in winter, keep your butt cool in the summer. There's a wireless phone charger, and that big 10.25-inch LCD screen with the UVO entertainment software is terrific. Very functional, easy to read, easy to figure out. And boy, is this Niro EV fun to drive. Now, the posted horsepower rating is 210 horsepower with about 300 pound-feet of torque. But that doesn't really tell the whole story. We're talking electric vehicle here, which means you have instant torque. Put your foot into it and whoosh, off you go. And keep in mind again, the way the battery pack is arrayed here creates a very low center of gravity. So while the Niro EV does feel a bit heavy when you're driving, I mean, you're not driving a lightweight economy car. What you are getting is a vehicle with a low center of gravity that corners beautifully, holds the line, and feels planted at highway speeds. Folks, the future of the auto industry is electrified, battery electric vehicles. Hyundai Kia alone has pledged to spend tens of billions of dollars expanding its portfolio of battery electrics and hybrids and ultimately hydrogen fuel cell vehicles, which, well, a fuel cell vehicle is just another form of electrified vehicle. General Motors recently announced that it was going to up its investment in electrified vehicles to something like $35 billion, with 30 electrified models coming to the marketplace between 2020 and 2025. Ford Motor, once a laggard in this space, has said it will turn its entire Lincoln brand, the Lincoln Near Luxury brand, into a fully electric brand with at least 4 dedicated new battery electric models in the portfolio. But Ford is already making noise with the Lightning electric pickup and the Mach-E hatchback that's going right after the Tesla Model S. So lots going on there. And in fact, if you're a big automaker, and lots of small ones too, if you're in this game, if you're in the auto industry game, you are moving electrified very quickly. But today, what about today? Well, I think this Kia Niro EV, it's technologically sound, it's well crafted, it's pleasant to drive, it's got terrific range, the quality is proven in the marketplace and owners like it. So should you buy it? Today, right now, if you're buying an electrified vehicle, I recommend this one. I can move, and with the KIa, but the launch here in this early launch period, if you're looking for this KIa EV that I'm driving, folks, the future of the automobile, folks, the future of the, but the sticker price isn't actually the price you pay, not when you factor in all the eBay. Bam! You put your fit in. You do need still to plan out your